Okay, this is a video Columbia, a Sony Pictures Entertainment Company. Okay, this is a podcast, audio movies podcast. I don't give consider God's handiwork, who can strengthen what he hath made crooked. Ecclesians or something. I not only think that we will tamper with Mother Nature, I think Mother wants us to. And I can't see what it says. Columbia Pictures presents. Okay, I missed some parts because, yeah, it always happens. Okay, something's flying down. A Jersey Films production. Things are falling down. They're in blue. A film by Andrew Niccol. There's these things falling on the... Ethan Hawke is the star. Uma Thurman. And I think there's one more. Oh, there's the title of the movie, which I don't give. I don't give the title. Just watch it and you'll figure it out anyways. Alan Arkin. There's music. Jude Law. That's why I remembered. Jude Law was in it. Okay, that's all I'm telling you who was in it. Things are falling to the ground. Oh, they're like hairs? He's cutting his hair? And things are falling off. It's all in blue. Things are falling on the ground. And there's there's like thin cables. Oh, they were a close-up. He's shaving with a straight razor. Straight razor. He's shaving his face. Now he's scraping. He has a brush, and he's scraping his skin, his stomach, and his chest. He's with this hand brush. Now his hair, with the same brush that he did his body, he did his hair. Now he's in a shower. Music is going. Now he gets out of the shower and he's in a robe. And the fire goes off. Now there's urine in a bag, and he's clips it to his leg. Urine in a bag, clips it to his leg. He has this fake piece of skin, and he has a hole in it, and he's putting blood in there. He's filling it up. Then he's putting it on his... He's putting it on his finger, his index finger, and he's gluing it on. It's like a house, but a lab. It's a lab and a house. He's walking around. Now there's this futuristic building. He's driving around. It's an old car, even though it looks futuristic. It is futuristic, I know it. They're in a building. And it's very stark, very minimalist. People are going up an escalator. People are going through in suits. Everybody's in a suit. The main character, Ethan, is in a suit. In the not too distant future, they put their fingers on the thing, and it takes a little piece of blood. And it says, and it gives a green light. There's Uma behind him. And they're all walking in, all dressed so smartly. Now, they're on a computer. Ethan's on a computer. And he's looking at a screen, and it shows Saturn. He finishes, and he has a little thing, and he blows a little air on the keyboard, between the keys. And then there's a man that looks like he's in charge. You keep your workstation so clean. Cleanliness is next to godliness. Isn't that what they say? I reviewed your flight plan. 1,000,000 keystrokes? Titan. They were going to go to Titan. There's talk of delay. You leave in a week. You got a substance test. He pulls out thing on his under his sleeve and he sprinkles it on the keyboard. There's little hairs, and he leaves it on the comb that was on his desk. And he puts it in the drawer. There's a urine sample they want. The guy looks away. Jerome pisses on demand. Every time you're in here, I guess he says it. Something about ordering something like that for me, I guess, is penis size? I don't know what they're talking about. He takes the blood in a eyedropper and drops it into the machine, turns on the machine, analyze, it says, he hit a button. Valid. Jerome Moreau. I already told you about my son. Remind me to sometime. So, had 1 week and he's going up. Tell me you're at least a bit excited. I'll tell you at the end of the week, he says. Jerome says. Uma is going up the escalator and sees, congratulations, Jerome. Thank you, he says. They're showing a rocket going up into the sky. How many launches are there in a day? A dozen? Sometimes more, he says. You're the only one that watches all of them. If you're going to pretend like you don't care, you're doing a bad job. I think that's what she said. Jerome. Navigator first class. 1 year manned mission to Titan. Moon of Saturn. Highly prestigious. Selection was guaranteed. He is blessed with all the gifts. Genetic quotient second to none. Nothing exceptional. Except I am not Jerome Morrow. And then they fade. Then they fade to what? To the ocean. I was conceived in the Riviera. French Riviera. Though the Detroit variety, not in the French Riviera. A child conceived with love has a better chance of happiness, but they don't say that. Never understand. Local geneticists, they should have. And then the baby comes out, her mother has the baby. That's 10 toes and 10 fingers used to be what mattered. The cause and known of his death is already known. By a little bit of blood, they take a little blood. 60% probability. Depression, 42%. Attention deficit, 89% probability. Heart disorder, 99%. Life expectancy 30.2 years. 30 years, the father says. Name for Anton, for the baby. Vincent Anton, the father wants. That's a good name, he says. Vincent Anton. I know he'll do something. He'll do something, the mother says. Now they show him as a little boy. Whoops! Vincent, chronically ill. Runny nose was like life-threatening. Insurance won't cover it. I wish there's something I could do. They shut the door. They can't get it into the school. The kid can't get into school. Insurance won't cover it. Parents of their day, they were determined their next child, natural way. You're up there extracting the eggs. They already did it. Has been fertilized. After screening, 2 boys and 2 girls. There's 4 embryos, or most compatible candidate they're going to have to select. They should decide on gender. We want Vincent to have a brother to play with. Of course. Hello, Vincent. And he's like a young kid. Hazel eyes, dark hair, fair skin. I've eradicated any disabilities and violence. Diseases, yes, but we'll just leave a few things to chance. For the best possible start. Perfection built in already. The child doesn't need any extra burden. The child is still you. Just the best of you. You can conceive 1,000 times, but wouldn't get it right, I guess. Brand, Anton. Anton is worthy of his name. He's taller than Vincent. Vincent is 10 and he's shorter, and at 8, Anton is taller. They're like 8, and Vincent rubs off his name. Now they're at the beach, the 2 kids. 2 brothers. We are blood flame. There's something flowing through his veins. I needed more than a drop if I was going to get anywhere. Oh, he wants to give me blood brothers. So he cut himself with a shell. He drops it, and the younger brother decides, forget it. They start swimming. They get into the ocean and they start swimming out. The game was chicken. When my parents weren't watching, we'd swim as far as we dared. Who would get scared and turn back first? They're swimming and there's like gunk. They're both about the same. Oh, they're in like mesh or seaweed. Come on, you coward, the younger brother says. Anton. He's always Vincent. Anton was the stronger swimmer and no excuse to fail. So he's just lying back and floating. Now it's back. Where is it? They're they're setting up Mercury and all the planets with chalk on the ground. He dreamed of going into space, Vincent. They're marking out a scale version of the solar system. He's eating the apple. That's Pluto. Now he's reading Careers in Space. Vincent. He has to eat. Vincent, the mother wants him to eat. Passes a plate of food. He puts it to the side. You have to be realistic, the mother says. A heart condition like yours. There's a chance there's nothing even wrong with me, he says. 1 chance in 100. I'll take it, but they won't. For God's sake, listen, the father says. They look at each other. The only way you see the inside of a spaceship is if you're cleaning it. Doesn't matter how much I lied on the resume. My resume was in my cells. Why would they train him with somebody with a cleaner profile? That's discrimination. Gina's something. Nobody takes the law seriously. There's a guy, he walks into the office. They can take a sample from the handshake or your application form, from your application form. A drug test, he puts a little jar there. They'll put a little P and it shows the future of the company. He starts to walk away. Okay, they're older now. They're like 14, 15. They're going to swim again. You want to do this? You know you're going to lose. They're like 16, maybe 18. He takes off his shirt. Vincent. And then they start swimming. Last time we swam together. Each stroke to the horizon we'd have to swim back the same distance. The farther we go out, the further we have to come in, is what he's saying. They're swimming. Something was very different that day. Every time Anton tried to pull away, I was right beside him. Until finally, the impossible happened. Vincent! Oh no! Anton's drowning. Anton's looking, he's drowning. And he goes and saves him. Or does he save him? The one moment in our life. He was not as strong as he believed. And I was not as weak. That moment made everything else possible. So he drags him back. The older brother drags back the son. The younger brother. Oh, they ripped off the photo. There's a photo of the family. Puts it in his pocket. They're living together? Are they still at home? He's leaving. Vincent. He tore a picture, I guess, of himself off of the family photo. He moved around a lot the next few years. I must have cleaned half the toilets in the state. I belong to a new underclass. Social status because of the color of your skin. Gattaca. Welcome to Gattaca. They got discrimination down to a science. Start from the front and go all the way to the back. I want to see my smiling face on that floor. And he's in the building and he's watching rockets go up. But he's younger and he's a cleaner. What about you, Your Majesty? You going to go into space? Come here, he says. The manager gives them a mop and thing. Start by cleaning this space right here. There's a bunch of cleaners in jumpsuit. I was so certain of how far away from my goals I was. And he sees, while he's cleaning the windows, he can see rockets going off into space. And now he has a buffer. He's using a buffer and buffing the floor. He must be about 21, maybe 25. Then he's looking around. The place is empty. And he's going to a computer terminal. And there's a bunch of them. There's like 100 of these machines. These desks. Cubicles. But no walls. Cubicles with no walls. And he's looking. He sits down at one of the desks. And he pretends that he's working on it. Pressing some buttons on the keyboard. Pretending. Somebody's coming. Oh, somebody came in. Somebody's coming in. Whoop. And he gets up. And he starts using the machine again. Now he's washing the window. And the boss man says, when you clean the glass, don't clean it too well. You might get ideas. If it's clean, it's easier to see me on the other side of it. And he's like, ha ha. Now he's cleaning the fitness center. There's towels. And he sees something. A heart monitor. Like one of those little things that you put on your chest. Like a thing that doctors put on. Ooh, he just checked the machine that checks your ID coming in, and it's red. It's bleeping red. Oh, now he's back to doing push-ups on the ceiling, on the door, above the door. And he has a book, the Celestial Navigation book. All my brave talk, it was just that. No, it doesn't matter how much train. It's the best test, unless I had a blood test to go with it. He's going to have to resort to more extreme measures. Then it came, doesn't actually advertise in the yellow pages something. Now they're measuring how tall he is. And his distinguishing marks. This guy is looking at him, checking him over. You serious about this? You're not wasting my time, are you? I'll give 100%. That'll get you halfway there, the guy says. I don't know who this guy is. It's an old edition, but I know it all by heart. Oh, by heart, huh? It's a navigation book. Do you have somebody in mind? He has a binder, and he zips open the binder. And there's vials of blood. And he pulls one out. And he goes up to him and gives it to him. For the genetically superior. Success is easy to attain. It's guaranteed. There is no gene for fate. For one reason or another. The elites fall on hard time. Their identity becomes a value commodity. One man's loss is another man's gain. Expiration date of this guy is couldn't believe. He's a genetically perfect guy. The guy's practically going to live forever. IQ off the register, better than 20/20 in both eyes. He's an ox. He could run through a wall, I think he said. He's in a wheelchair, the guy, and he's smoking. Jude Law. He was a big-time swimming star. You can go anywhere with that, and this guy's helix under your arm. What did I tell you? You look right together. I want to double my fee. When's the last time anybody looked at a photograph? How do I explain the accident? That's the thing. It happened out of the country. As far as everybody's concerned, he's a walking, talking person. We just got to fill in the last year of his life. It doesn't matter where you were born, it's just how. As long as they've got what they're looking for, you got what they're looking for. Who lives up there? I don't. He's in a wheelchair. He doesn't live on the second floor. So began the process of becoming Jerome. Obvious sign of a disadvantage? Glasses. Surgery's no good. You can see the scars. Contact lenses or a white cane. Color doesn't match. That's so. They have to match the eyes. The guy takes 25% of everything you make. The agent, you don't get your deposit back. You said 20%. You said 20%. And then they're cutting hairs. And he's looking in the mirror. Vincent. He looks almost like him. Pretty close. I guess that's it. Not quite, he says. There's still the matter of the height. How tall are you? 5'6". Well, how tall were you before the profile says he's 6'1". So I can wear lifts. Even with lifts. You're not that tall. So what? What are you gonna do? No, he says, no. No, we never discussed that. I thought you were serious, Vincent. But I'm serious, but I'm not doing it. I won't do that. Oh, they start the saw up, and he's sitting on the floor, and he has these expanders on your feet. Never question my commitment again, he says. He'd be 2 inches closer to the stars when they expand his feet. They're putting these things on his legs, and he's flying on the floor. You had to be a right-hander, huh? Nobody orders southpaws anymore. So Jerome is taking his blood. He's putting him in vials. That's my name, he says. I can't be you without it. How can you think you can be me at all? He's like in his wheelchair and he rolls over to him. Look at this, he says. A medal. Look at it. It's nice. I'm impressed. Is it real? Are you colorblind too, Vincent? It's silver. Jerome Morrow was not meant to be one step down on the podium. I was still second best, he's like. Me. How do you expect to pull this off? I don't know exactly, Vincent says. Your signature needs work. You gotta put the preparations to the test. Everything he needs to get into Gattaca except for one thing. I don't want to be in there. I want to be up there in the stars. What's up there? That's what I want to find out, Jerome. Call me Eugene. My middle name. If you're going to be Jerome. Oh, they're showing a rocket going up into space. Gotta get going. Where's the sample? It's on the door on the left. There's... Which pouch? Any of them. There's the urine. Should I test it? If you like. You test it in a machine. He says no. You've been drinking again. It's a hot sample. It's 8 o'clock in the morning. I haven't, he said. Vincent, what? Eugene, he says. No, no good. The interview's in an hour. There's 4 samples, and then he took the third one. Third one's no good. There's more vodka in this piss than there is piss. I had cause to celebrate. I'm sorry. It's only Wednesday left. That's the one. That's one. Oh. It looks good. Normal. Listen. It's not too late to back out. This is the last day you're going to be you and I'm going to be me. Well, he'll just not, he puts his head down, that's all. Jerome. So then Vincent leaves. Jerome's sad. They take a pee sample at this work. And then it shows valid Jerome Morrow. Morrow Jerome. What about the interview? That was it. That was it. He's in. And then now he's in his wheelchair sitting in the middle of the room smoking. I got it, he says. Of course you got it, he says. The real Jerome says. So now he's scraping his skin off. Vincent, in the shower, and that's the way it was. Each day, try to dispose of as much loose skin as possible to limit his invalid self would be valid. And he burns the something. Eugene prepared samples out of his what do you call that, shaver. He taken hairs from the shaver and fingertip blood security checks, vials of hair, blood. Jerome gives him blood samples and he pays for his rent. Vincent pays for his rent. Invalids were he was a made man. Different burden. Man of perfection. Now I was a member. Detested portion of society. Somebody who refuses to play the hand that was dealt. I can't keep up. A degenerate is called. Degenerate, but a degenerate. Genes. The guise of Jerome Morrow. There's a dead body. They're all looking at the work. Somebody came close to his true identity. Some more success as exposing me in death. This guy is bloodied in the head. He's all bloody. They're all looking around at him. All the people. And then he sees a hair. They close up on a hair. And they're taking the keyboard was used to kill him, and they're putting it into a plastic bag for evidence. Alan Arkin is the detective. This is going to take a while, the detective says. They're all looking in. And now they're taking samples, like a little vacuum. They're vacuuming up all the microscopic materials, human materials. I want you to Uman has to assist the investigator. I don't lose my place in line. if make sure I don't lose my yes insured. Inform the authorities will cooperate. We can't tolerate any more disruptions. Thank you, Director. Uma says. I don't know what her name is. Her character name. How will this affect the mission? Jerome says. Vincent says. It's only the launch window is open only at the week's end. I don't know what he said there. I'm trying to keep up, but I can't keep up. Oh, my hair got sucked in. It must be his hair. What happened? I'm going up, he says. Vincent says. End of the week. End of the week? That soon? What about mission director? He's dead. That's what Jerome said. Vincent says, and Jerome's like, you serious? They found him. He was beaten so bad they had to check his name tag. You are serious? Jerome says. There's nothing between us and ignition. I'm going up. That's what Vincent says. If the man was murdered, he didn't do it. What if they do find something? Be slightly out of their jurisdiction. There's going to be investigation. We got to get drunk immediately. The real Jerome says. So now if they're at a symphony. Good evening, gentlemen. They're here. Oh, they're going to sit. Oh, now Uma is fixing some papers, some computer papers, and she looks at the desk. She's looking in the desk, and she sees a hair. And she pulls the hair. What is this? Some woman doing makeup. Oh, something about kissing. They're taking samples of their people's lips. You want? Oh, she's getting the hair checked out. And they take the hair and they put it in the machine. And she gets a tube. 9.3. 9. Yes, what? Quite a catch. I don't know what she's checking. There's a piece of paper in a tube she got when she gave the sample, and it's a computer readout. And she's sitting outside in the dark by her car, Uma, and sees it. Valid, Jerome Morrow, and she's looking at the DNA sample, and she throws it away into the back of her car. Oh, now they're showing Jerome and Vincent drinking together. This couldn't have been open more than 5 minutes ago. He's bothered about the wine. They say when you're weightless, it's the closest thing to being in the womb. I can't believe you pulled this off. They're sending you up there. Jerome is saying, up there, for God's sake, for you of all people. I'll be in one room for a year. What? He has his books. I got places in my head. Jerome, the real Jerome says, I have visitors. Ones that you don't pay. Seriously. Vincent says, what are you going to do? Jerome thinks about it. I'm going to finish this. And he takes a big gulp of wine. He's gulping down the wine, gulping down the wine. What's Titan like in this time of year? And Vincent laughs. What's Titan like? Huh? Titan. Titan's exactly like this. He takes his smoke and he blows it into the wine glass and it swirls around the glass all the time. It has a cloud around it so thick nobody can see what's underneath. There's something there. You should be going instead of me, he says. Why is that? Because up there your legs won't matter. I'm scared of heights. Now they're outside. Oh, Jerome is puking. He's sorry, he says. I'll save some for you, shall I? He says. Now they're at home. And he has a headache, Jerome. I'm so sorry, he says. That's alright, Vincent says. Don't give me a hard time. Vincent takes him. Oh, he falls over. He's trying to put him into the bed. Help, help, he says. He can't. He throws him onto the bed. And he throws his legs up over. You know, I wasn't drunk when I walked in front of that car. What car? I stepped right out in front of the car. I've never been more sober in my life. Oh, that's how he was trying to commit suicide. I couldn't even get that right, could I? If first you don't succeed, try again. Go to sleep, Vincent says. I'm proud of you, Vincent, he says. You must be drunk to be calling me Vincent. Now this outside shot, and the investigators are looking at his head, the dead guy's head, and they're taking blood samples. And they have all these little suction machines. They're little canisters that are suction up, and they check all the samples. Oh, invalid. An invalid hair. Unauthorized specimen. And the guy looks, one of the scientist guys. Now they're back at they're back at the what do you call that? They're at, where are they? He's on his, they put a little sensor on the real Jerome. They have little sensors, and they're running. They're on their treadmill. Irene, you're excused. And then Irene's, that's her name, Uma's name. He walks away, and then Vincent comes to it, and he has the probe on his chest, and he switches it for the one that he has on the real Jerome. Uma looks over. What was her name? We found our man. It can't be accountable, the specimen. That's why everything goes our way. It's an eyelash. Invalid, registered, invalid. The specimen could have been there since then. I don't think anything lays around here that long. A janitor is going to come back here all this time and kill a guy? Oh, they know who it is. It's Vincent. They know it's Vincent. The profile says he's a sick man. He probably already died already. 10% chance he's still alive. We find a guy minus an eyelash and we found the murderer. We already ran it. No living relatives. Check the entry logs. Mission director wasn't universally loved. There's a lot of other people that might have done it. All due respect, sir. Whatever you say. The older man says that, and the director's a young man. And he sees a little sample of eyelash, and he has it in his hand. Okay, now back to Vincent is on the treadmill, but the probe is on the real Jerome. Jerome the metronome. I'd love to have a heartbeat like his. Mr. Director, we have a suspect. That's a relief, he says. Invalid south wing, and it's a picture. Invalid. We're still looking at leads. I'm having this posted immediately. What's this? Your hiring practice, your recruitment. Who do you have to be? Natural, our standards, not the common citizen. You must have varying level of excellence. We only acquire people with minor disabilities. Now there's enough of the right kind that there a new measuring stick, bodies with minds to match. As we push out further, you still closely monitor performance. Nobody exceeds their potential. They're talking too fast. I can't keep up. They're showing the heartbeat. Oh no, his heartbeat went up. Oh, he pulled it off. It fell off. It wasn't working right, and so he stopped. And the detective sees it. You all right, Jerome? Oh, he can barely breathe. He couldn't keep up. He's so out of shape. But he kept it together, looking like he was not. But the real Jerome would be able to run forever. Okay, now Vincent is walking in the halls, and the main detective, he's looking up. Uma and the detective are looking at the logs. Do you have an alibi? He says to Uma. I was alone. I found that hard to believe. Excuse me, she says. I forget what her name is. There's a cleaner. There's the head cleaner. I'll take care of that, Mr. Morrow. He doesn't even, it was the boss that he used to have. He didn't even recognize him. The boss, the cleaning guy, because he used to be a cleaner. And his boss sees him. I guess I'm not the only one that looks up whenever there's a launch. Uma's and Ethan or Vincent are walking together. You're talking to the director. Didn't the director threaten to cancel your mission? They found an eyelash in the south wing. Some invalid. Jerome. I had you sequenced. I'm sorry. They say that you're everything you are and more. What about you, Irene? Irene. You're just like the rest of us. Not quite like the rest of us, she says. Acceptable likelihood of heart failure. The only ship she'll take is around the sun because of her heart condition. If there's something wrong with you, I can't see it from where I'm standing. They look at each other. If you don't believe me, she pulls a hair out. Here, take it. He takes the hair. If you're still interested, let me know. He's gonna see if, and then he throws the hair away. Sorry, the wind caught it. And he walks up to her. Oh, what? Walks away from her. Oh no, they're still walking together. The hair is on the ground now. Now Vincent's on his computer. He's looking at trajectories into Saturn. Invalid comes up. The invalid picture of him comes up. And Irene looks at it, and nobody seems to recognize it. Jerome, the boss. Is this the approach path we discussed? Absolutely, director. Quite right. Quite right, director says. Irene looks over. Vincent looks over. Now it's nighttime. They're in the car, or somebody's in the car. I want what I ordered. The real Jerome is on the phone arguing. They sent Summer Wheat instead of Summer Dawn. The hair dye. He was on the phone with getting mad about it. I'm probably have to pay for the $5 they sent me. It's a little lab. His house is a little lab. Jerome looks at him. They found my eyelash. Vincent just confessed. It could be worse, Jerome says. They got my picture plastered on the computer. I can't turn around without seeing my face. They'll recognize me. They'll recognize me. I can't recognize you. They won't believe that one of their elites. It changes nothing, Jerome says. No Jerome Morrow. I'm not Jerome Morrow. I'm a murder suspect. He's throwing away. He's throwing away a bunch of samples. Stop it, he says. Fine. You leave if you want. That stuff is mine. I could have rented out my ID with someone with a spine. You can't quit on me now, Jerome says. I put too much into this. What do you want me to do? Wheel in there and finish the job myself? Eugene, they're going to find me. You still don't understand, do you? When they look at you, they don't see you anymore. And then he says, give me the blood sample. He was going to throw it away. Vincent was going to throw it away. Jerome takes it back. Keep your lashes on your lid where they belong. How could you be so careless? And he rolls away. And then it shows Vincent rubbing his hair, his skin with a brush as much as possible. And he's like in a ultraviolet room. It's not a shower, it's like an ultraviolet lights. And then they're filling up the blood sample for the front door, the little thing that he puts on his finger. Vincent's doing it. Jerome is waiting there for him. Going out, Vincent's going out. Where are you going? Jerome says. I'm going to get arrested tomorrow, so is it a good idea to go out? It's not my idea not to change anything. What? If I don't go, it looks suspicious. You don't want to look suspicious, do you? Oh, glasses. Why do you... Oh, right, you can't wear contacts all the time, I guess. The real Jerome wheels away, turns around. Oh, Irene's in the car waiting. And Jerome sees him. The real Jerome sees her. And now they're at a concert, a piano concert. Pianist is like playing and they're watching. It's like a private concert. Vincent is not having it. He's kind of bored, I guess. Now it's over, I guess. They're running. Somebody's running. They're scanning everybody. Blood tests. Who ordered this? The detective. What are we doing? I'm following a lead. Sorry, sir, but that's what I do. I'm a detective. The owner of the eyelash is here? He's an invalid. Where do we look for invalids? He's an invalid. Invalid goes... An invalid avoids us for all these years. You think he's going to lay down? Sweep again. Random stops at Gattaca. And they're watching the piano thing. And they're taking they're taking a blood sample of Jerome and he says valid. You work at Gattaca? That's what it says, right? Doesn't say you're crippled. I'm not crippled. I hurt my leg training, moron. How you dare you question me? What's your number? He's saying he's not crippled. He's just flatfoot. He's calling him a effing flatfoot. How dare you question me? They're like, you work at Gattaca and you were in a wheelchair? This is a crime scene. What's this man doing? Cleaning. What are you doing, old man? Doing my job, sir. Grabs the garbage. It's just trash. And then they're back to the piano concert. Playing piano. Just the piano player. No orchestra. A round room. They all surround him. They're all clapping now. He just finished. And he grabs his white gloves. He takes a bow. Throws his white glove into the crowd. Even though the crowd is like, oh, Vincent caught one. And gives it to Irene. And she puts it on. Oh, he has an extra finger. He has extra finger. That's why he's so good. He has 6 fingers. 5 fingers plus a thumb. Wonderful, wasn't it? Irene says. 12 fingers is how you play. The piece can only be played with 12 fingers. They walk out of the room. Now, let's see, what are they doing? The police are stopping cars. The people that are leaving the concert, or they're in a tunnel. And they're like, uh-oh. What's all this about? Irene asks. It's probably nothing, Vincent says. And Vincent's getting worried. They have like these wands. And they're stopping cars and putting the wand on them. It's like a light. Oh, they're checking their eyes and they're taking a sample. Oh, he takes off his contact lenses and throws them away onto the floor. And then they're doing a scan, and they don't want to give you a contaminated specimen. He wanted a specimen from his mouth. He takes a blood sample instead. Valid. Jerome Moreau. And he looks at him. And he's like, okay, that's good. They didn't take a mouth sample. They took a blood sample. And I guess he had one he had Jerome's blood on his finger. Thanks, Jerome says. Vincent said, I don't know where those swabs have been. Irene says, I want to show you something. And Vincent looks at him. Vincent can't see a thing. He doesn't have his contacts in. This is like an old Porsche they're driving. They stop the car. She gets out. She gets out and he starts to get out. She runs across the highway. She's running across the highway without getting hit. Because she's so adept, because she's has good genes. He can't see the cars because he took his contact lenses out. He's like, uh-oh. Come on, we'll miss it, Irene says. And he tries to go. He can't see. These cars are whizzing by him. He just closes his eyes and he goes. He runs. He almost gets hit. No, he makes it up pretty good. Whoa. He makes it. Nope, they go. They were at a fence and then they kept going. Now there's a huge array of satellite dishes. But they're not round dishes. I guess they're like almost like solar panels, and they're looking at a whole field of these solar panels. And Vincent looks at it. And they're they're moving around. They're angling. And Irene looks at it. And the sun catches the metal. What did I tell you? And it's all blurry for him. And he's looking. Now they're down by the array. I guess I'm not sure if the solar panels or satellite dishes. Strange, she says. Your eyes look different. It must be the light. Must be. If she's so smart, she should remember that. She has a great IQ, right? Because she's genetically altered. She should really know that it's wrong. Now he's in one of those endless swimming pools. Oh, the phone on his watch. It's the future, right? Invalid. The cup was used. Oh, another invalid. He came back to the scene of the crime, but I don't know anybody that's that thirsty. I don't think he cleans up the place anymore. He's playing somebody else's hand. At Gattaca. It's far-fetched, but not out of the realm of impossibility. Even if he got through the security system, he doesn't have the mental capacity to do it. He's an imposter, and maybe the director found out about it. Two-thirds of the workforce fall in the category. A urine sample and a fingertip sample should be enough. Hope I'm not out of line, he says. He wants to take another sample. They're all lined up. Oh, there's Vincent. He's in the line. Everybody's lined up perfectly. And the detective, the young detective, not the older guy, he's looking, he's scanning them. They're all in suits, perfectly trimmed up, nice and clean. Oh, Vincent goes in. It's only a matter of time, sir, the old detective says. The older detective says. And then now they're taking a blood sample. The testing methods might have been compromised, so they're taking the blood sample. Oh, he has a blood vial in his hand. Oh, and he says it hurts. And he goes, ah, damn it. He pulls it out. It's all right, he says. It looks like we have enough. He switched it when he did that. He switched the blood sample. Oh, man, that's close. Now he puts it in the machine. Checks. It's valid. It's Jerome Morrow. He switched it when he was right there. He says, ow, it hurts. And then he switched it. Oh, Irene. He's talking with Irene. Vincent is. So you didn't do it after all? No. I guess somebody beat me to it. He says, I leave in 2 days. I guess you know that. But, oh, she's smiling. That's it. They took the blood test. That's the last man. Something's not right, the old detective says. We missed something, the old guy says. I say we test again. The director says, no, I can't allow you to do that. You're not at all concerned of having a murder in your presence? He's less of a... 7 days. Our launch window is open 7 days for every 70 years. Once every 70 years. Your late colleague opposed it. In my profile, you wouldn't find a violent bone in my body, the director says. This is not the only place we can look. The young detective says. The old detective says, okay, let's start looking around. So they start walking over. And then it shows the real Jerome getting blood samples, or pee samples, and putting them into the cooler, and a blood sample, and blood samples too. And there's like jazz playing. I don't know if he's listening to the jazz or is part of the... I think he's listening to jazz, or is it part of the movie? He's blowing up a rubber glove and lets it go. He's getting bored, I guess. And now they're at a party. Not a party, a dinner. And people are slow dancing, and Irene and Vincent are having something to eat. She takes a pill and takes a little bit of her cocktail. I'm luckier than most, Irene says. Not as lucky as some. I know something about that, Vincent says. What kind of heart problem did you ever have, Irene says. Did you get something broken at once? I had this crazy idea that you are more interested in the murder case than me. You're right, Vincent said. That's a crazy idea. She smiles. Would you like to dance? They get up and they're going to dance. They're slow dancing. Jazz music now, that's what it was. He wasn't listening to jazz, Jerome. It was being played because of this scene here. They're slow dancing. She did a little twirl or something happened. I wasn't watching. That's funny, he says. You work so hard. Try to get away from a place. When you get your chance to leave, you find a reason to stay. A year is a long time. Not so long, Irene says. Once around the sun, that's all. They look at each other. Oh. Detective shows up. Please do not leave the premises. I said nobody leave, the old man says. Does everybody speak a foreign language? What, am I speaking a foreign language? He says. I want napkins. I want cigarettes. I want drinks. And then the main detective finds a pillbox that Irene took. I thought you wanted to dance. Oh, he punches the guy, punches him again. Punches the detective that was at the front door. Oh, he headbutts him, starts kicking him on the ground. Are you insane? Irene says. Come on, and they start running. The detectives are closing in on him. Irene and Vincent are running down this long alley. And the main detective, the young main detective, sees his detective. Where do they go? Where do they go? He said. They're running, and it's just the longest alley I've ever seen. Irene can't run. Why not? Oh, maybe she's in heels. He pulls him to the side. They're like, oh, she can't run because she has a heart problem. Don't touch her face. Don't swallow. They're taking a swab. Because it's Vincent, he says. Vincent, he yells. And they're there. They can hear. They're close enough to hear. She understands. Who's Vincent? Irene says. He says. Don't say anything, Irene says. Don't say anything. They kiss. They're just kissing passionately. Don't say anything, she said. And then they're kissing and they're kissing. Now it's fade to another. Now they're on the shore. There's the water. They're on the shore by the water. Who is? They're having sex, I guess. It looks weird. Oh, the camera angle is screwed up. It's from up and below. It's upside down. Basically hanging from the wall. And they're having sex. Vincent and Irene. But they took the shot where now they're finished and they're sleeping in the bed. And there's a view of the ocean, that's why. And then they fade to black. And then they show him waking up. Vincent's eyes, one eye is open. You can only see one of his eyes because the other one's in the pillow. And there's a hair. There's a hair that Vincent is looking at. And he looks at Irene, and Irene's still sleeping. I don't know what he's thinking of doing. He's slowly thinking. Now he gets out of bed. Irene wakes up. She doesn't move, but her eyes are open. Now there's a shot of somebody picking up pieces of stone, of pebbles from the, and he's on the shoreline, and he's rubbing a rock. He's rubbing a rock on his skin, trying to take off as much skin as possible so that loose skin won't fall off, like he did in the old times when he goes to work. And he's all exhausted. He's naked on the shore of the ocean. Oh, Irene is cleaning up. She has a robe on. She washed her face. She's look. What happened? She says. Scars on your legs. '99 Chrysler LeBaron. That's the exact height of the front fender. Did you just make that up? Do you use that all the time? I don't know what he said. I was saying what she said. Did you have something to do with the director's death? It's not true. Valid, Jerome. Invalid. They're looking at the photos of the valid Jerome and the invalid Vincent. Is that the man from last night? He's nobody. Oh, he's into it. Now he's on the zero gravity machine. And he's getting spun around. He's one of our best. I'm certain he has nothing to do with this business. Jerome Morrow. Oh, Irene just pulled away right before they saw her. Oh, Irene. You look well, Jerome. Jerome is there. Why don't you go home? Oh. The detective sees him, and Vincent heads back. He sees him and he heads away. I'm looking for Jerome Morrow. He's ill. He's ill. It's nausea. I want to pay him a visit. You can show me the way? And Irene doesn't say anything, but they start going together to the car, I guess. The old detective is looking at the dead man, the dead director. He's looking at him. I don't know why. And he takes something. Oh, the Q-tip. And he gets it. He gets it analyzed. Oh, he's phoning him on his phone on his watch. Oh, Irene's gonna take the detective. Oh, the detective show Irene her pill box. You don't know who he is. You know who he is, don't you? Or something. I'm not sure what he said. Oh, Vincent sees that Jerome is working on skin samples. He's not picking up the phone. Now he picks up. I need you to be yourself for the day, Eugene. Investigators are coming by. That's what you keep telling me. How much do I got? Not long. He told them that the detective's coming. Now he's in his wheelchair. And he's looking up onto the second floor. He throws himself onto the floor. The car is zooming over to his house. So he's crawling. The real Jerome is crawling on the staircase. It's a spiral staircase. He has no leg use, right? Because he's crippled. He's crawling. He's He's crawling. He's crawling. This car is slowly getting there. The car is right to there at the house now. He's up halfway. No, he's not there yet. He still has to go around. The detective and Irene are heading to the door. They're at the intercom. They press the button. He's still crawling up the stairs. He's crawling. They're buzzing it again. He's up. He's on the top floor now. The second floor. I don't know if it's the top floor. The buzzing. Oh, he's at the buzzer now. He can't reach it. He's about to reach it. Oh, he hits it. Hello. Can I see Jerome Morrow? This is me. Come up. I guess he's home, the detective says. Opens the door for Irene and they both walk in. He's crawling on the floor. He's crawling. He's getting onto a chair. He's getting up onto a chair. He's dressed really nicely. A red suit vest, a tie, slacks on. He puts his leg so he looks like it's cross his leg onto his knee. He wipes off his sweat and he says, "Come in." And he's sitting there, and now the detective sees him. "Hello, sweetheart," Irene says to Irene. "Where's my kiss?" It's good to see you feeling better. Of course. What? Kiss on the lips. Who's your friend? How can I help? It's about the director. Again? Hope it's no trouble. Forgive me for not giving you a guided tour. Maybe next time. This won't be long. I forget what he said. He's taking a blood sample. He takes the blood. Taking the blood. There's a little machine. You can do it right there. Bloop. It shows a little screen. Valid. Jerome Morrow. Who were you expecting? Oh, he opens up the vacuum cleaner. He's looking, the detective's looking, and they're like looking around. The detective's looking. Somehow they started on the second floor. Oh, the bottom floor is the basement. He's walking down. He's going to see the wheelchair. He's walking down. He's halfway down. Oh, Vincent behind a pillar. Oh, they have a killer in custody, and he turns around and walks away. Vincent was down in the basement, and he starts running off. And then Irene gets up. And he looks at the real Jerome. And then Vincent comes around onto the top of the steps. "You okay, Jerome?" "No, I'm not bad, Jerome," he says. "How the hell did you get up here?" I've been faking it. Always can walk, but I've been faking it, he said. And Irene walks away. She doesn't say a word. She's walking away quickly. She looks like she's about to cry. Irene! Irene! Don't touch me! Irene, I don't even know who you are. I was the same person I was yesterday. I don't want to hear any more of your lies. My name is Vincent. Vincent Anton Freeman. I'm a freak, but I'm not a murderer. Gene freak. But we do have one thing in common. I don't have 30 years left in mine. His heart. He has a heart problem too. I'm the authority of what's not possible. Or something like that. They're looking for any flaw. That's all that you see. For whatever it's worth. I'm here to tell you it is possible. It is possible. Gene freak. And she just looks at him. Irene, and she pulls away. And then she walks away and he's like, oh, they got the killer. Now the detective comes to the Gattaca offices and opens the door. And they see the killer is the director. Congratulations, sir, we did it. His spit was found in the dead director's eye. Your instincts put us in the right direction. The invalid had nothing to do with it? This mission meant everything to him. To the director. So he killed the other director. He wouldn't live long enough for the next one. He's like 80 years old, the director that's alive. There's two directors, the one that was killed and this. You'll be celebrating tonight, sir? Of course, the detective says. But the old director got the killer, and the young detective didn't get it. That's kind of smirking, the old guy. Okay, Vincent puts Jerome, the real Jerome, into his wheelchair. What was the cop like? My name was the topic of conversation. They have their man. It's over. It isn't over. I have to meet him. Vincent's in the office. And the detective, the young detective, is at his workstation. And Vincent's walking over to him. And he's coming up to him. Vincent, he says. The detective. He looked over and he says, my God, you have changed. It's been so long you haven't even recognized your own brother? Our parents died thinking that they outlived you. Anton, the detective, is Vincent's younger brother. I don't know what they said. I committed no murder. You must be disappointed. You committed fraud. You're in a lot of trouble. You know what? Any idea how to get in here? You have to come with me now. I only have 1,000,000 miles left to go. Is the only way you succeed is to bring me down? And you are going to tell me what I can and cannot do? If you can't, in case you haven't noticed, I don't need any rescuing. But you did once. Oh, you got all the answers. How do you explain that? You didn't beat me that day. I beat myself. Who are you trying to convince? They're talking... You want to prove it to you? It's not important. They're talking about the swimming test. It's forgotten. I'll prove it to you. You want me to prove it to you? I'll prove it to you. The younger brother says, I do. Oh, then they show the ocean. And they're both there, standing in the ocean, on the sand beside the ocean. The younger brother, Anton, takes off his jacket, the heavy jacket, takes off his tie, takes off his dress shirt. Vincent hasn't done anything yet. Now they're both swimming out. They didn't show him getting undressed. They're both swimming out. Slowly again, they're showing it. They're going out. I don't know who's who. They're swimming out. It's all misty out. It's the wet, rough waves. Not really rough, but kind of rough. Vincent, Anton and Sam, where's the shore? We're too far out. You want to quit? You were too far out. You want to quit? No. Anton says no, and they start swimming again. And it's pitch dark out. They're swimming. They're swimming. Violins are playing. Vincent, he says. Anton. How are you doing this, Vincent? How you've done any of this? We have to go back. It was too late. We were closer to the other side. What other side? You don't know how I did it? This is how I did it, Anton. I didn't save anything for the swim back. Oh, Anton starts swimming back. Anton swimming back. Vincent wins. Now he heads back too. So they're heading back. Oh, Anton's starting to go under. Vincent can't find Anton. He's looking around. He goes deep. He goes down. Vincent goes under the water and he grabs Anton before he starts drowning. And he starts dragging him back to the shore. And Vincent's looking up at the sky. And he sees the stars. He sees the stars. And that's where he wants to go. Okay, fade to black. Now, Irene is sleeping in her car for some reason. Oh, and Vincent's there on the side of the car. And he's just staring out. You couldn't see, could you, Irene? Crossing the street, when we were crossing the street. You crossed anyways. That was earlier. Oh, he pulls his hair. A little bit of hair out. If you're still interested, let me know. Irene takes his his hair. It's a hair sample. She drops it. Sorry. She dropped it and said sorry. The wind caught it. And he smirks. She smirks. And then they fade to another scene. Oh, they're having sex. They just finished having sex. She's on his chest and they're naked on the bed. And then they change scenes. And everything's covered up. The lab is covered in plastic. And he's running his hands over the table with the plastic on the table. He's looking around. Where's the real Jerome? There's panels, or they're freezers. Oh, it's panels. Jerome comes in his wheelchair, comes out of the cold room. He's like, "You're flying out today, aren't you? What what kind of mess you're in? Come on," he said. "I have your samples ready," Jerome says, the real Jerome. "I don't need samples where I'm going." "You might when you get back." He opens the door. "Enough to last you 2 lifetimes. Why have you done all this?" "Jerome will be here when you need him." "I'm traveling too." "What?" "I don't know how to thank you." Vincent says, No. I got the better end of the deal. I only lent you my body. You lent me your dream." Oh. He pulls something out of his pocket. It's a letter. "Not until you're upstairs." Read the letter, I guess. He smiles. He's in the Gattaca. He did the screening to get through the gate. There's nobody. Wait. There's some, on the PA there's a voice. Okay, there's a bunch of people walking in. Walking in. He walks to the right. What is this? New policy. Flight got you nervous? There's a problem. Never told you about my son, did I? Big fan of yours. Just remember I was good as any. Almost. He wants to apply here, the son. Nobody looked back and nobody would have been the wiser. He doesn't have a pee sample with him. I don't know. Who knows what he can do, the son. Right? He takes a drop of pee and he puts it in the machine, hits the button. Invalid. He looks at right-handed man. For reference, a right-handed man doesn't hold his penis with his left, is what he's saying. He says a right-handed man doesn't hold it with his left. And he turns off the machine and changes it to valid. You're going to miss your flight, Vincent. Oh, he knew all the time. He knew the whole time. The lab guy, the security guy that did the security screenings, the urine samples and the blood samples and stuff. He lets him go even though he knows he's Vincent. And Vincent looks at him. And he's free. And he walks up into the entrance of the wherever. He's into the space shuttle. I guess he's going to have to change his clothes. He's walking in a lit hallway around, it's like a tube. The door opens, half the door opens. And he pulls up. What is this? It's the real Jerome is, oh, he's crawling somewhere. They're going into this tube with the door shutting. It must be the rocket ship. They don't have spacesuits. They just go in their suits. He's going into the washing area. Jerome, the real Jerome, is going into the washing area where he would scrub himself down. Vincent would scrub himself down. And he's sitting there. They're all the astronauts are sitting in their chairs. There's an Asian guy, there's a white guy, a black guy. And then Jerome, the real Jerome, pulls out his swimming medal and puts it on around his neck. And now they show a woman. And then they show Vincent. And then they show Jerome, the real Jerome, with his medal around his thing. And he turns it on. Oh, he's burning up. He's incinerating himself. And then Vincent is going up into space into this rocket, and there it goes. You see a wide shot of the rocket going way up into space. And Jerome had just went into the incinerator and he incinerated himself, the real Jerome. And he has the medal, and there's a shot of the swimming medal that he won as a silver medal. And he just killed himself. Holy, I didn't know that. I've watched it before, but I didn't know that was the case. And Vincent's in space now. And then there's the letter has a locket of his hair. The letter that the real Jerome gave Vincent. Some men weren't meant for this world. I'm having a hard time leaving it. They say once all our atoms of our body are once part of a star. Maybe I'm going home. And then they're showing us the sky with the stars. And then they fade to black. Oh, now the cast. Woo! Oh. Now the credits. Okay. Whew. It's hard to keep up because there's a lot of talking, and so when they say something and I have to say what they said, but then somebody's saying something in response to what they said, and I miss it. Whew. It's hard to keep up. But it's a science fiction futuristic movie. Okay, I got nothing to say. I guess signing off. Remember, live your life and see what happens. Okay, later.